Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Yes! Thursday morning, Run It Back, FanDuel TV. Is everyone awake?
Yep.
Lou?
I'm not.
Oh, God.
Right.
Shams?
I'm always awake.
He always is
You
awake.
a little hung this morning?
I know.
Hungover?
Want to, like, run around the table and get it
Damn
going right now? All right, fine. Lou Williams, Chandler Parsons, Michelle Beadle, Stadium Insider Shams Charania, and we got a game. It was fun to watch. Let's talk about it. Mavericks, Wolves. Ooh, this was fun. Dallas got a 1-0 lead in this thing. Luka and Kyrie, big games from both of them. Luka with 33, 6 and 8. Kyrie with 30. He was 12 of 23 from the field. Ant finished with 19, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. And that was their first Game 1 win for Dallas since 2021 and their second since 2011, if you're keeping track of these types of things. But after the game, Kyrie was on the set with the TNT guys. It was very funny, talking about how Ant had said, I got Kyrie, and then Kyrie used that as motivation. But he was laughing about it, Lou, so it's kind of a respectful thing. But it does work, right?
Yeah, he said it was a sign of respect. He took it as a sign of respect, and he also praised Ant-Man for his mindset. He was like, for him to have that mentality, that should tell you everything that you need to know about how competitive he is and who he is as a competitor. So Kai took it as a sign of respect, and then kicked his ass. So that's how that interaction went. You know, but Ant-Man, I can appreciate him saying publicly that he wanted to take this matchup and take that challenge. But when it's all said and done, you know, in hindsight, we all got the answers. He probably should find another matchup in this series, you know, to save his legs.
Look at these finishes.
Give him an opportunity. Yeah, like, let somebody else deal with that. Like, nobody's going to be able to guard that.
I'll tell you this, at this point of the season, you don't need extra motivation, but as a competitor, you definitely take this as a challenge. And you hear this dude that everyone's talking about, comparing to Michael Jordan, and at the same time, you're Kyrie Irving. No one can guard you. So the fact that he does take that, I don't think he was disrespected, because he said afterwards that that's why we love Ant, that drive, that competitiveness. But as a hooper, though, he definitely took it as a challenge. Like, all right, well, it's going to be a long night for you, buddy.
No, it was cute the way he answered it, because he was just, you know, joking that he was with his family.
It was very cute. It was adorable.
It was adorbsies. That's how I referred to it. Ant did end up with 19. He was 6 of 16 on the shooting side of things. Look, I don't know Chandler. He's 22. It's big time. He's new to this. It's guarding Kyrie. Like, how are we going to blame something for that?
Well, I mean, he was visibly tired. Like, he was gassed. He was not even getting past half court on some of their offensive plays towards the end of the game. He was in the corner with his hands on his knees, so he definitely, his conditioning, and also I think that just has to do with Game 1, the nerves, the anxiousness. He's going to settle in. He's going to get his legs back Game 2, but that's tough. That's a tall task to kind of carry the load offensively as that dude and guard, you know, arguably their best player on the other end. So that is a lot. I think they need to make some sort of adjustments. They need to put Alexander Walker on Kyrie a little bit. They need to put Kyle Anderson. They need to show a little different size, different matchups with him, because to do that for 48 minutes is tough. And that's a tall task to do. He's going to have some off shooting nights just because his legs, but I think he will settle in Game 2 and have a more efficient night.
Yeah, you got to think, nobody on the Minnesota Timberwolves has played this deep into the season. No, they've never played this deep into May and had this type of run before, especially, you know, Ant-Man is 22 years old. You know, I think they put their heart and souls into winning that Game 7 against Denver. You have a couple of days to kind of recalibrate and get ready for a Dallas team that's anxious to play you. And also veteran guards that's been here before, that's had experience. Kyrie is obviously a champion. Luka going into the Western Conference Finals. So this is kind of the water where, you know, that inexperience kind of kicks in, and I think they'll respond back in Game 2. But like you said, you can visibly see that they were cooked on both ends of the floor at the end of that game.
I just wish someone on this panel picked Kyrie over points in the Mavs to win last night.
That would have been nice. Yeah, your Dallas homerism is kicking in, and it's going to work out for you.
Damn right I did, Lo.
Well, look, Ant did talk about all of these things after the game. Here he is.
I think we just came out flat today. I mean, and then we found our energy, then we went back to being flat. So I think it was just on us. Everything was on us today. I didn't get downhill as much. Yeah, just stuff like that. We was just a little tired, probably.
Lou, you're tired a lot. Do you recognize that? Like, are you watching that going?
Sure, lose the one that.
I thought it was accountability.
Yeah, I liked it.
I thought he was accountable for the way that they played. You know, he said they were flat. They found their energy and then flatlined again. And like we said, no matter what he says, they didn't pass the eye test. We saw him putting his hands on his hips. Even the big three-pointer that he made to put him up 1 point at the end, with like 2 minutes to go in that fourth quarter, you could see he was slow walking back to that bench. It looked like they had been through a heavyweight championship fight, and he just was gassed. And, you know, so the fact that we could visually see him tired and for him to come out and say we were flat, we'll be better, and we got to be better, I accept this answer.
Yeah, this isn't
it.
like a thing where Anthony Edwards is out of shape. He's played a lot of minutes. It's a huge game. The crowd was lit. Like, he was excited for this moment. I think it got a little too big, and I think his legs were exhausted. Like I said, the nerves, the anxiety, like everything I think played a part in his fatigue. But now with the day off of practice, watching film, they still did enough to be in this game and damn near win this game without a Luka run there late. But they're just fine. I think once they settle in, and they do have to keep their composure a little bit. They had some bad turnovers. Their offense at the end of the fourth quarter was pretty bad, but they did enough to compete and win this game.
Kyrie, as we mentioned, carried this team in the first half. Scoring 24 of 30 points, which Stan Van Gundy then referred to both Luka and Kyrie as the greatest offensive backcourt ever. I love when Stan's on a call, Lou, because we get these kinds of things. You're making a face, so you don't agree.
I mean, off the top of my head, Mike and Scotty.
Heard of them?
How fast have we forgotten about Clay and Steph, Shaq and Kobe?
LeBron and D-Wade, are they considered
Even
backcourt?
Bron and Kyrie. Bron, Kyrie, Bron, D-Wade. And these are off the top of our
That was a
heads.
good
So,
one.
like,
2019, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they averaged like 35 and 28 points, both of them. Like, if we're talking offensive statistics, there's a bunch of teams, a bunch of duos that put up big numbers.
Clyde Drexler and Elijah Wan. We could go Penny Hardaway and Shaq. It's
No,
backcourt.
backcourts. All right, cool. We'll take those out. I still
I was thinking the same thing too, like Shaq and Kobe duo.
Steph
but
and Clay?
I still like Steph and Clay.
Got 4 rings.
Yeah, they have 4 rings. You can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
I know, but he wanted to say that, and so maybe this is the argument.
So what we want to fight?
So, like,
with
we're gonna watch how this thing plays out, and maybe by the end of the series, and finals.
No, they're not going to be better
Dang.
than Steph and Clay at the end of the series. They're going to need 4 years of series to
They
get
need more
to that
time
point.
to touch that. I understand what he's saying, like offensively,
Yeah.
like you can't guard them both. They're both so special. The way Kyrie is finishing, the way Luka creates and play makes, but I mean, no, we're talking about historic championships and runs and longevity in years. They're very talented, and maybe they'll get there, but not yet.
You're very talented, and maybe one day.
Yeah, I mean,
we got caught up in the moment. But it was fun to watch. Luka had 15 of the 33 points he finished with in the fourth quarter. The knee injury is there. I mean, he looks like he's just hurting, but at the same time, not at all. Is he the best player left in the playoffs? Like, that's a tough one to answer.
Yes, he is, and Ant is getting a lot of. I'll tell you this: Ant is the best two-way player. That dude defends. He puts everything on the line every play. Luka is like a Jokic, where he's unguardable. You can't. There's no schemes. There's no coverages he hasn't seen. He's an unbelievable playmaker. He makes everyone around him better. I can't say that about Anthony Edwards. I can't say he's making a playmaker, getting his guys easy shots like Luka does. Now he's a hell of a talent offensively. He's got so much game and athleticism, and he defends. I will say, last night and in this playoffs, I've never seen Luka dedicated so much to the defensive end. He's cutting off baseline, he's sliding his feet. So now we're getting a little bit of everything with him, which is even kind of just rounding his game. But yeah, offensively, the way his size, his skill, his passing ability to get everybody involved in the attention he draws, yeah, he is a guard version of Jokic, where there's not one coverage, there's not two coverage, you can't blitz him because he'll just throw over you. There's no way you can stop this guy.
Are we still overlooking Jason Tatum? What does Boston have to do to get a little
Win.
respect?
Championship.
Win this year.
All right, but
See, that was easy, Lou.
why are we giving Dallas the benefit of the doubt when they haven't won anything either?
Yeah, because they feel like they haven't supposed to be winning the last 6 years like
Haven't
Boston.
supposed to been. That's
Haven't
exactly what
supposed to been to win.
Yes.
Boston
No,
has been there, and they just haven't got. And by the way, Tatum is probably I would put Tatum as the second or third best player
but
in the playoffs.
if Denver was still in these playoffs, we probably would be saying Jokic is the best player
Yes.
left in the playoffs. So with that said, Jason Tatum lost to Jokic.
Yeah.
That's it. Now that he's here without Jokic, and he's had a 30-point game in his first in game one, why are we not saying Jason Tatum?
There's something
Why is
that he
there
just
expectation for the Boston Celtics that's not there
He
for the Dallas
doesn't light
Mavericks?
the fire for people watching. I know that's probably not a fair assessment, and really at
We
the
can
end of
make
the
that
day,
argument for Luka. They
No,
both kind of just.
By
There's
the way,
something about Luka that can be exciting.
Tatum he's right there. If we're talking best players left, it's Luka, Tatum, and Ant. There's no one else. And I just think the highest expectations. Why am I having a stroke today?
I don't know. I'm worried about you.
I can't. They have the pressure. They have the expectations. They've been the most dominant team all year long, partly because Tatum
he's still
has
there.
been so great.
He's still there.
We haven't seen him win the big game, and I know Luka hasn't either. I know obviously Ant hasn't either, but I am just saying I think right now in the playoffs, the way they're playing, the way he plays offense, and now he's even playing defense, I would just, if I had to pick one player, I'm picking Luka.
Right, but we're
Who would you build around first?
Luka.
Jason Tatum.
No, you wouldn't. Now you're just sticking to your guns.
No, we're talking about a
now
guy
you're
that's
just sticking to your guns.
Or am I sticking to the guy that's been to the conference finals 5 out of 6 times? He's there. Like, why wouldn't I? It's proven that he's a winner.
It's not an outlandish thing to do.
So that's not me. That's not me sticking to my guns. I'm sticking to the guy that's been there 5 times in a short 7-year career.
What if Luka beats?
What if he wins the championship this year? Does we never
have to change our opinions. We'll have to change our opinions.
They gotta get past Minnesota first.
But if.
Yeah, but it's those 3. Like where you can't throw Halliburton in there. Yeah, he's had a great year. But it's those 3 that are the 3 best players left.
Man, wish we could fast forward. You're watching this game last night, Shams. What stood out?
Well, I just look at the relationship between Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, the way it's evolved. Everything for the Mavericks starts with those 2 guys, and I see them embrace after every game, and that relationship's come a long way. Last year, we know it was how choppy it was when they got Kyrie Irving, just in terms of finding a way to win basketball games after just coming together so early, so quick, midway through the year. It's hard to find that success that early in the year, but there were a couple moments for the Mavericks where they looked, Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd, Mark Cuban, they saw this team take the other turn. When the team went to Abu Dhabi in training camp, and also early in the season, in November, late November, when the Mavericks were here for really a week-long trip to play the Lakers and the Clippers, Kyrie Irving held a spades tournament at his house.
A what?
And a spades tournament.
It's a black people game.
Space.
And he invited the entire
Oh, I thought you
team.
said space. I'm like, I've never heard of space.
No, spades. Spades
Ooh,
tournament.
I'm having a stroke.
You
Okay, go on.
ever play spades before the Beatles?
Spades, I know, yes.
right, cool.
By the way, Rajon Rondo was at the table, and he's
There
quite
we
good
go.
at it.
We call it
Yes,
Boo
yes,
Ray.
yes.
We call it Boo Ray.
No.
I didn't know it was
Spades
spades.
and Blu-ray,
Playing
2 different
Spades is a
Playing
team. Boo Ray is individual. Spades is but you keep going.
No, what? Okay.
He was playing the spades tournament. He invited the entire team, and Luka Doncic competed against them. They played against each other, and their families were there. And just the time that those 2 guys spent, and they didn't get that opportunity last season. And
Well, that's fair.
What month was this, Sean?
late November,
Okay.
So Thanksgiving, like a nice little get-together.
Yeah.
they were playing good basketball first half of the season. I think just getting PJ and Gafford, that took them to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And I think this year we're talking about Kyrie Irving as a leader, as a top player again, and instead of mandates, instead of drama, we're talking about him loving the game of basketball and really cherishing the way he plays. He's played with LeBron James before. Now he's playing with Luka Doncic, and the success he's having right now, you have to give them a lot of credit. They got him. They traded for him. Lakers wanted him. The Suns wanted him. They got him. It was an arms race last year, and they didn't get the rewards last year. But now you're seeing the vision that Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd, and Mark Cuban have.
That's the biggest thing. Is he's
Patience.
back to just hooping. He's happy.
Yeah.
He's hanging with his family. He's healthy. Like that to me. Now Kyrie Irving. It's not about the hoopla. It's not about the vaccination. It's not about
Nothing.
the Earth is flat. It's not.
No
It's none of that.
documentaries.
He is just hooping and he's doing it very, very.
Can
well.
we agree that was just a weird time in the world?
I mean,
And maybe Kyrie wasn't as strange as we thought he was.
okay, the flat Earth thing, though, we gotta.
But he's not alone in that.
That's what's scary. Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
why
another,
it's
that's
there,
another
you know?
episode. That's,
That's a whole nother thing that we have to talk about. I will say this: there was a great interview they had post game. Everyone was laughing and having. He just seemed light, like in
Yeah.
the best of ways, just happy and light.
I mean, he
And
said he
love that.
wished Dallas was the team that drafted him. Like,
I mean-
he is home. He is comfortable. He loves it. He expects him to be there for a really, really long time and continue to have success there because it's not ever been about his game. It's not
No.
about his production. It's all the other stuff. So now you take out all of that. He's happy. He's got a great Batman to his Robin where they can flip flop everything. Last night he started off the game. What did he have? 24 in the first half, and then they switched. Luka has 15 in the second. So like they had a really good balance last night of when to attack, when not. You can even see Luka just kind of gives him the ball and defers, lets him rock. They get PJ Washington all these wide open shots. He continues to hit them. So they found something here, especially offensively. And then when they defend, they're tough to beat.
On the other side of things, though, Chris Finch said after the game that the T-Wolves had no composure. You agree, Lou?
Disagree. I saw a lot of composure. I think they competed. What I did see is a team that was settling. They shot almost 50 3-pointers at 49. That's a team that's settling. That's a team that's fatigued, not attacking the basket, not putting their will on another team to make them guard at the rim and force them to play inside out. I didn't see that from Minnesota. That's one of the things that's made them successful this entire season. So the fact that they settled so much, shot so many threes, didn't put any pressure on the rim, that's what I saw. So that's not a team that's losing their composure. Usually a team that's losing their composure, they're turning the ball over, they're getting charges, they're playing too fast. I didn't see them playing out of character except the fact that they were just settling for jump shots a lot.
I like that. The paint thing, by the way. Rudy Gobert, we're going to talk about Rudy Gobert because we don't know what to expect sometimes. 62 points in the paint for Dallas, 38 for the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
Who are we going to blame for that?
Well, that's Luka controlling the offensive game. That's him getting in the paint. When he does it, he uses his body so well where the defense collapses and he finds people. He gets lobbed. They have two really good lob threats with Lively and Gafford who have been really unbelievable finishing. And then when Luka creates that space and then Kyrie gets in the lane, everybody has to help. And then it's just chaos because they're scrambling, people are driving the lane, so they're turning the ball over. So I think when Finch was talking about his composure too, it's at the end of the game, Ant had some bad turnovers. They didn't get in their offensive sets. They were rushed. When Luka went on that 7-0 run himself, they didn't get a good possession. They didn't get good shots. So I think when a team is going to run like that, you have to settle in. But also, you can't allow 62 points in the paint. So when Dallas shoots 6 of 25 from 3 and still win the game, that's a problem because they're not going to probably shoot this bad for the rest of the season.
That's got to be.
But the team you're playing, they shot twice as many. You know what I mean? And they didn't shoot it efficiently. They shot only 38% from the field. So when you're playing against a team that does that, that gives you more possessions. That gives you more opportunities to beat them.
And I'll say they had some uncharacteristic breakdowns on defense. They're one of the best defensive teams this year, the best defensive team. They had so many blow-bys. They had so many wide-open dunks and wrong help and overstunned. They did a lot of...
The single-side tag was killing them.
Yeah, they did a lot of they played hard, but a lot, they did a lot of out-of-character things on defensive end that allowed Dallas to get easy dunks and layups and lobs and wide-open threes.
That's all fixable by tomorrow?
Should be.
Okay,
Should be.
That's no problem then. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by Malik Beasley on Run It Back.
Beast, what's happening?
Run it back, baby. Let's get it.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.
Around, I'm a shooter.
Read by Malik Beasley. Beasley, this is just ridiculous.
Middle round, about to go, yeah. I'ma take my shot, cause I'ma get the job done. Get the job done.
I'll do it.
Where you get that?
Great season. I'm not doing it very well. All right, that's fine. Good morning, Malik. Thanks for joining us. I know it's early. Let's talk. We just had Bobby Portis on, first of all. Oh, no. What happened? I'm scared. Okay.
I saw that too, by the way.
No, fix it. So you guys lose to the Pacers, who we obviously know are playing the Celtics right now, and made the game one quite interesting, mind you. And Bobby Portis told us he's happy that the Pacers beat the Knicks because we didn't want to watch a hobbled Knicks team roll in there. But you also had some words for the Pacers back in January. Are you surprised they're still alive?
Yeah, I am, honestly. I'm honestly sick about that. I knew that was going to come up. It wasn't pretty for us. So, nah, they're doing really good, man. They put that defensive pressure on teams, and they continue to play to be that underdog, and they're doing it. So, I mean, kudos to them.
Do you root, like in this case, do you root Boston? Do you have a preference?
No, I don't. I wish it was us, to be honest. Yeah. Obviously, the team that beat us, I prefer to win, so it makes us look better, I guess. But the Celtics, I think they got a chance to win it all, man. We're going to see.
Malik, you averaged 19 points a game as a starter in the playoffs. How did you deal with the bench role, playing in the starting lineup, the aspect of not knowing exactly what each game could bring, and the level of frustration? Was there any frustration for you?
At that point in the season, man, I wanted to win. So whatever it took, if we needed, Pat Bev to come in and bring in energy and spice it up a little bit, then that's what we had to do. I just wanted to make sure I was productive and show the world that I can produce in the playoffs. That was, my main thing, but also try to hold it down for Dame and Giannis for a couple more games, but we couldn't do it. So just being in that position again on a championship caliber team, being able to play and hoop, it was a blessing to me, man.
You got to play with Giannis this year, man. What was that like playing with him? I mean, is there a downside to playing with one of the top 5 players in the league? What was that like?
Nah, it was no downfall playing with him. I got a lot of open shots. In the beginning of the season, I had to learn how to make open shots because, for us, Lou, we need that rhythm, or we need a contest or something like that. It's just different. And so once I started making that, it was way easier for me. I spaced the floor out for him, so he's getting dunks. We started playing 2-man game a little bit. So, I play with a lot of great players, but man, that one is different. That's a beast right there.
You said he had a kid mode. What do you mean by that? Give me an example of when Giannis goes into kid mode.
Oh man, he's either in strictly business or strictly kid. Ain't no in between. So you got to catch him on a good day. He just be joking around. He'd be like, we'll do shooting games. If he wants me to shoot with him to build his confidence, I come down there and shoot with him. And he'll be like, ooh, boy, you lucky. If I had your jump shot, I would be unstoppable. I'm already unstoppable, but I'll be unstoppable.
I'm already unstoppable.
Fair.
What a nice thing to be able to say.
Yeah, he ain't wrong.
Beautiful
Man,
thing.
he ain't lying, though.
Right.
I mean, I can't argue with him. Speaking of Giannis, by the way, I suppose Colin Sexton was taunting or getting into it, and then you got into it with Colin Sexton, and I think we're showing the video here. But is this just as simple? It doesn't matter who you played with previously in your career. You just have to stick up for your current teammates.
Yeah. I mean,
that's too
the
much.
elbow I didn't really see.
Come on.
The elbow I didn't really see, but it was the stare him down, walk over him type shit that I ain't like. And
I like
Colin,
that.
that's
I
my
like
boy.
that.
He does that. That's what Colin does. He brings that energy.
And then he
brings
flop.
that.
That's what how you play tough and flop?
And then grab your arms.
Come on,
I
Colin.
don't know about all that,
Part of the
but
system.
I
just wanted to
said
send a
it for you,
message.
Bees. You can't be tough, stare a guy down, and
Yeah.
then get hit and act like it's the end of the world. Like, you
funny.
gotta stand on that.
Hey, I just
Stand
gotta let him
on
know it ain't
business.
gonna be
We've been
that
teaching
sweet.
Bees to stand on business. Yeah,
Stand
we've
on
been teaching
Stand on
business.
business.
Oh, damn. Just doesn't sound right. Malik, back in December, Giannis also dropped 64 points against the Pacers. There's the whole drama after the game where they stole the ball.
Oh,
I need every detail. Like, what was that? You buy that's an accident? You think they were doing that to be some assholes? Like, what take us through that?
I have no idea, man. That shit is in the past. All I know is he wanted that ball, and they didn't. Hey, man, leave my man alone, man. 64 points, that's tough.
It's a great
That's
video.
tough.
It was the perfect storm,
No,
though,
It
because
was.
Bees know
I've never
like it's
seen
a
him like that,
tradition
though.
to get
I
the
ain't
ball
gonna lie.
for your first 2 points. That's tradition, but it's also
tradition.
I need that ball if
Nah,
I got
on the road, my
64
boy.
too.
64, yeah.
I need that ball if I got 64 too. So it was the perfect storm
Yeah.
of both people feeling like
Perfect.
they deserve that ball.
But you know you ain't getting that ball on that road, boy. You
Not
better get
on the road,
option.
yeah. That ain't they go to the home team.
Man.
And B, obviously last offseason you had a chance to sign with a couple other teams. You choose Milwaukee. What went into your decision choosing the Bucks, and what other conversations did you have?
I had a few teams, but with Milwaukee, I wanted to grow in all aspects of life. They were a family-oriented team. Championship goals, nothing less than that, and then also a chance to play. I wanted to show how that I didn't get a chance to do it with the Lakers, but show in the playoffs that I can play. And John is a great GM. He brought me in, and we both felt like we could help the team and do what was needed to be done.
We talked about Giannis. You also got an opportunity to play with Dame this year. Him being such a dynamic guard, how did he make your game better just playing alongside of him?
Well, I told everybody as soon as he came in, we had this thing, this record, this shooting drill. We got to shoot 100 threes. And the man came in and knocked down like 94, and I had I literally, the day before, just got 92, and it was the high. And the man came in and got 94 straight off the plane. I was like, damn, okay, I see what's going on. I'm going to have to work with this dude. And then me and his trainer got cool, so we're going to work this summer, and I'm going to go out to Portland soon and just kick it with my boy, and we built a great relationship, and he's helped me a lot, on and off the court.
Is it true that in the locker room he'll put on his own music and perform for y'all?
No, I wish. I wish.
Would it be weird? I mean, does he play his music at all?
Sometimes he plays it, but most of the time it's us playing it in the locker room. I tell him to freestyle for me every now and again, but I gotta see him in studio in live action, man. See what he's talking about, Lou. I gotta see what he's talking about.
Definitely.
Malik, you also were in the three-point contest with him this year. What was that whole experience like with Dame, just the whole weekend? Is it more of a drag? Is it fun? What were your thoughts of it?
Oh, it was a blessing, bro. That was my first time, and he's been there defending champ. So he was talking shit to me the whole time. He was like, Malik, this is not a basketball game. Me and Giannis are not passing it to you. This is, I'm like, damn, what you trying to do? You trying to put that pressure on me? And then I'm glad he won, what I'm saying, with all the stuff he's going through to show that, he can still enjoy himself and still help the team and still, be a powerful person in this league just shows, his strength and mental capacity.
People always talk about Steph. They all talk about Clay. Hear names like Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. But where do you rank Dame as far as just straight up top shooters of all time? Top 5, top 10?
Definitely top 5 to me, especially from the 40, that logo area. Ain't nobody doing what he was doing, besides Steph. But and his shots so pretty, bro. All his shots are back rim. It's not like, right or left. It's straight down. Like, that's the most beautiful shot when it comes back to you type stuff.
Speaking of top 5s, don't you love it when your own team's digital team kind of gets you in trouble? Because they asked you guys for your top 5 players of all time. You got Kobe, MJ, D-Wade, and Ray Allen, but there was no LeBron. And we're all watching and listening for everyone.
You did not put Ray
it.
Allen in your top 5 all time.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
No, that's his personal top 5, though.
That's just my personal top 5. LeBron knows what's up. I play with him. I was in his agency. He knows that. That's my boy. Love you, Bron. But I'm a shooter and I'm a guard. I like Ray Allen, what he was doing with the ball. Not Ray Allen, Allen Iverson, and then what Ray Allen did as a shooter. His drills and all the stuff he did. So, I'm missing Joker. I'm missing a few other players that I didn't play with. So they can't. I can't.
Can't name them all. Can't please everybody.
MB, obviously, you're going to be a free agent this offseason after this season with Milwaukee. What are you looking forward to going into free agency? What kind of opportunity are you going to be looking at?
I'm excited, man. Like I said, those games as starters help me in the playoffs. So, hopefully that can get me further or where I want to go to. I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm still in talks with Milwaukee. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And then other than that, man, like I feel like I can get a bag or get some money, man.
Yeah.
Or maybe even go to another playoff team. That's still on my list to be in the playoffs and win a championship.
Well, Golden State could be looking for an elite three-point shooter if they make some moves here. Would you be interested in that?
Keep it clean, Malik. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
It's open. We gonna see.
Get your bag, no matter where it is. Get your money.
Because I wanted to ask, you played in Minnesota 3 seasons, including Ant-Man's rookie year. What was that like?
Yeah.
Did you have any idea he would be this good?
Man, I kind of did know because he had some dunks in his rookie season that was like, okay, he tough. And then his confidence though is what takes him to a whole nother level. He'll walk in the gym and be like, oh, I'm busting ass today. Like, there ain't no question. And I think that's what's taking him so far. And then his ability, which what people don't, I've known him since he was rookie. So to show him giving up himself on dunks and layups and, passing the ball, making the right plays, it's huge, man. He's came a long way. And, I think he can get it done against Dallas.
Yeah, Chandler.
Yeah.
Now he's going to act like he's going to have Dallas the whole way. Malik, we appreciate the time so much, man. Thank you. Enjoy your offseason.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
We'll take a quick break.
Lou, hit me up, man. Hit me up, Lou.
I got you.
We'll be back.
All right, sir.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Boop, boop. We got scoops, big scoop, Shams. It happened not that long ago. What's going on?
JB Bickerstaff is out as head coach in Cleveland, and sources tell me Kenny Atkinson and James Borrego are among the leading candidates to replace Bickerstaff as head coach of the Cavaliers, and whoever takes over as coach, this is a Cavs team that is hopeful to re-sign Donovan Mitchell to a long-term extension. There is a lot of optimism around the Cavs that they're going to get a commitment from Donovan Mitchell on a 4-year, $208 million extension this offseason. But in the meantime, now they embark on a coaching search, and you have to give J.B. Bickerstaff a lot of credit. When he took over midway through that 2019-2020 season, he took over for John Beilein, and that Cavs team was in disarray, and he goes 170 and 159 in almost 5 seasons there. They have 2 postseason runs, back-to-back seasons, make it to the playoffs. They get home court advantage both times, get by the first round this year, lose in the semifinals to the Boston Celtics, who obviously are the prohibitive favorite out of the East. So this is a Cavs team under Donovan Mitchell that has championship expectations, and they put themselves in that position, and J.B. Bickerstaff today paid the price.
I'll tell you this, Donovan Mitchell, you got what you wanted, so now all the pressure is on you. And you want your head coach out? He's out. You want Darius Garland to get moved? They're probably going to do that too for you. So now there's no more excuse for him at this point of his career. But when you look at Cleveland the last 2 years, Boston, Denver, Milwaukee, and Philly are the only teams with more wins than Cleveland.
Wow.
And in those 2 years, only the Cavs, Boston, Denver, and Milwaukee had top 4 seeds in both years. So when you what was his record?
170 and 159.
And you fire the head coach. So obviously this is something personal-wise. This is where they just butted heads. They didn't get along. But as a head coach, you can't ask for a guy to do a better job with the situation they had. With all the injuries they went through this year, I think their projected starting lineup this year played 28 games together.
Right.
So I love JB. It's my guy. I played for him. I know he's awesome. I never had him as a head coach, but I just think this is a bullshit firing. I think he got the raw end.
Can I ask a process question? So you make this move, right? And you mentioned the fact that probably going to move Darius Garland. Do you have confirmation that Donovan Mitchell's staying before you make these moves? Or are you making these moves hoping?
I think they go to exit interviews, and Donovan Mitchell says, "Listen, I will sign an extension if you fire J.B. Bickerstaff, or I will if you make moves." I think that's
It's cutthroat.
if that's the proper steps. If he was talking about he wanted to trade last year, he doesn't want to trade, and now the head coach is going. Can you imagine if he leaves now after firing that coach? Will they rehire JB?
Are you sure he's staying?
Can they rehire JB if he doesn't sign the extension?
You know what, though? We've been talking about this for 2 months. I don't think they needed the exit meeting to kind of have that conversation.
That's what I mean. But my whole thing is, too, so they face Boston in the second round, right? What if they beat Boston? Is he going to sign JB an extension or no? Because Donovan Mitchell doesn't like him.
That's a great question.
It was a death sentence regardless going into that series. No, damn well they're not going to beat Boston.
I just want to know what the standard is these days to keep your job.
Maybe the player hasn't liked you.
We're seeing coaches that are having success with teams that are building and moving organizations in the right direction that's getting fired.
Coaches of the year have been fired.
Yeah, J.B. Bickerstaff included, man. It's a lot of quality coach. J.B. Bickerstaff is a quality coach, so the fact that he doesn't have an opportunity to kind of see this thing through is disappointing. I just want to know what the standard is these days.
You know who I like for this job? This is a J.J. Redick type job.
What,
a younger team, but with talent, more so than the Lakers.
But they're showing you they're ready to go right now.
But I'm just saying, at least they're young. It's not the Lakers, not this vet team.
Yeah.
Like Mobley's young, Garland's young, Donovan Mitchell's young. They have these young. And apparently there's beef with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. There's beef with this. So
what?
They have
Nobody beefs with Jared Allen.
Right, so that's how you know there's issues. So listen, they have a lot of clearly internal issues going on, and I think JB's just clearly the first one to go. But I expect a lot of action with this organization. Now Dan Gilbert wants to be more involved. He's saying, like, so who knows?
Can I ask another
what's
process question? Like if this, okay, so you move a coach if Donovan didn't want him there. Now you mentioned Borrego and Atkinson. Do you have to clear that with Donovan now? Or are you just going to do the same thing over and over again?
Yeah, if he's got, like when I was in Houston, James Harden, Daryl Morey would call him. He would say yes or no.
And lie to him?
He would, that was it. So I'm assuming it's the same situation here with Donovan Mitchell where, yeah, I think whoever, not necessarily fully whoever he wants, but if he's like, yeah, I like Borrego more than Atkinson, then I think they'll go with him. If it's the other way, I think he definitely has that kind of power, that kind of clout within this organization for sure. They just fired their head coach after that winning percentage and what they've done.
And he doesn't have an extension yet.
It's a cold world for coaching. And now let's just hire another guy that's already been fired somewhere else that failed. But
Borrego, you said
he'll be the answer.
You wanted Lakers to get Borrego. Then he goes here. Then who gets the Lakers?
J.B. Bickerstaff.
This is just fun.
Bernie Bickerstaff used to be in the Lake Show. Why not? Keep it in the family.
What a time.
I just think it's horrible. I hope JB starts doing TV because coaching is a cesspool, and I think it just.
We talked about it when the Cavs lost to Boston. There were a lot of issues in Cleveland, and a lot of it was centered around the players. And JB Bickerstaff was almost fired earlier in the season. This team went on a skid. He survives, and then they go on this surge in the second half of the season. And it looked like maybe they might make a run, but clearly Donovan Mitchell wasn't right. He sits out the final couple games of that Celtics series. And this Cavs team, it really starts. This is an organization right now that's trying to match the demeanor and the expectations of its best player. And that best player is Donovan Mitchell. He has championship aspirations for this team. And now, if you're an organization, you make it past the first round for the first time without LeBron James since, 1993. And the decision you make is you fire your coach. That's an interesting.
But now I look at this job. This is a good job though because they have the core. They have pieces to compete right away. So whoever gets this job, they are inheriting a really good team that's been built the last couple of years.
It is, I don't know how you'd ever want to be a coach. That is a tough, tough gig. We're going to take a look around the league. Things happened yesterday. Awards, accolades, NBA All-NBA teams. First up, you know it. You got Giannis, you got Luka, SGA, Nikola, and Tatum. Any issues here, Chandler? And specifically, could there have been a case made for, I don't know, maybe a Jalen Brunson over a Tatum?
No, Tatum was the best player on the best team all year long. You have to reward him on being on first team. I think they nailed this. If anything, I'd maybe go Brunson over Giannis. Because it ain't Jokic, it ain't Luka, it ain't SGA, and it ain't Tatum. So that would be the only thing. But no, I think they got this right. I think Giannis still had a dominating year. His numbers were insane, and those other four guys up there deserve. But yeah, Tatum is 1,000% deserves to be. He's been the clear-cut best player on the clear-cut best team all year long. They locked in the 1 seed like literally 3 months into the season. Tatum belongs in there.
And it feels like Brunson caught heat late in the season. These guys were consistent throughout the entirety of the year.
And did you say the thing yesterday where with this Luka now is eligible for the
346 man? It's like, hey, congrats, Patrick Dumont. You buy the Mavs. Congrats, you got to pay this cat $350 million.
That is just. I read that over and over again.
By the way,
pay
him. Pay him. You're not getting anybody but pay him.
I mean, you have to. That's.
But God, he is rich. What's that? 70
that
million?
That is so much money.
Cheesy.
In
Jason
Dallas.
Tatum's eligible for a massive extension this summer too.
You're gonna have 2 maxes in Boston.
We're talking 70 M's.
I don't. My brain hurts.
I
keep playing the
so
lotto.
much bread.
Second team awards go to Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard. I don't think you guys had Kawhi on your teams, but here he is at
just
second.
Quiet. He does all his damage quietly. I think he just didn't make a lot of noise this year. I think when it comes to these types of things, it's attention, it's branding, it's the number one thing is you competing on the floor, which Kawhi did. But, some of that is personality. I thought LeBron James should have been in there. Maybe a Tyrese Halliburton the year that he's had. I thought this was a coming out year for Tyrese. And so I had either one of those two guys in my second team, and I didn't really see Kawhi making it. But Kawhi's done everything that he could to put the Clippers in position to be successful this year, despite the injuries at the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with him. When he was healthy, he was going this year. And unfortunately, it wasn't like that at the end of the season. I would maybe flip LeBron in him, but the idea of 2 Lakers on second team with the season they had, that doesn't seem right either. So I got no real beef. I got a couple issues with the third team, though.
I was going to say, because now we're going to go through the third team and go back to that because you're talking about teams, records, and guys on there. So third, Booker, Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, and Sabonis. So you mentioned that you maybe would switch out LeBron and Kawhi. There's no Jaylen Brown.
He's the
anywhere on here.
He's the worst. He's the worst burn of all of them. He's the second best player on the most dominant team all year long. And you got these bad teams with players making it. You have to. At what point? What are you voting on? Are you voting on stats? Are you voting on resume? Are you voting on wins and losses? Because Jaylen Brown was their best player for months of the season this year. So he definitely got burned. And then the same thing with Sabonis went from overlooked in the All-Star game. So you're not an All-Star, but you're All-MVP
Makes sense.
or All-NBA. How does that even work? All you have to do is have a good first 2 months of the season and you make an All-Star team. Think about that. The voting starts way too early. It's ridiculous. No Rudy Gobert, the best defensive player of the year on the best defensive, a historic defensive team. So now we're not rewarding defense either.
Lou had Rudy Gobert on one of yours when we did yeah.
So I think Jaylen Brown should have been that. But the problem is, I don't know who you take off. You can't take off Halliburton. You can't take off LeBron. He damn near should have been second team. So you're going to leave off Booker or Curry or Sabonis for Rudy and Jaylen Brown. Those guys deserve it, but I just think what are we voting on? Well, like stats, so if Cade Cunningham next year averages 30 the first 2 months, he's an all-star.
It's third team, bro.
Still, that's a huge bonus for these guys.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton just gets a huge bonus for this too. I think he gets another $40 million for making All-NBA.
And
to go with his other 40.
They both get big money, $40 million.
I'm just saying, like if I'm Jaylen Brown, doesn't get that $40 million. That
Wait,
sucks.
is this the media voted? Which one is this media vote?
Media.
This
Think
is
about
strictly,
that. Jaylen
right?
Brown doesn't get that, and
No, I agree with you.
because of shitty voting. Like that is.
I agree with you.
I remember when I had to vote for this. There's real pressure to not take this lightly because of what you guys are talking about. The amount of money bonus that kicks in. I shouldn't have a say in that. That's how I always looked at it. I was like, who am I to say Jason Tatum can or cannot get this monster bonus?
Let me ask you a question too. Like on the Sabonis front, we talk about him underrated, not being. Does that all those articles and media about that? Does that help him get something like this? Like him getting snubbed for All-Star? Do they feel bad and give him this? Like, does that go into it? You think?
Subconsciously, maybe.
Yeah, somewhat.
It has to, right?
Somewhat. We're all humans.
Yeah, because
You heard Beadle. You heard what Beadle just said. Like,
Yeah.
that's pressure to have that vote.
And like the MVP voting, or it's voter fatigue. Am I really going to vote for Jokic next year to win MVP again when there's like this new star SGA and like?
Depends.
Like,
What if they suck?
So it's tough.
Yeah, I do think it's sometimes it's infuriating, but I imagine if you're on the player side and you lose out on something.
Like Jaylen Brown today, he's pissed. He's like,
He
what
should
in
be,
the
but he
hell?
did get but he would have gotten a monster bonus,
He's
right?
still
Huge.
He'd be all right.
He's definitely all right.
No GoFundMe. Okay, fine. We're gonna take a quick break. More Run It Back when we return.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back.
The NBA playoffs have tipped off. It's not too late. Get in on the action with FanDuel because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Use your bets on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and so much more. There's no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. Just download the app and get started. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You buying that. As always, there's a Gilbert Arenas part to this. He said that Jalen Brunson is never going to be called, there he is, a superstar until he wins a championship. Are you buying that he needs the title, Lou?
No, I'm not buying that. So was Kevin Durant not a superstar before Golden State? Is Jason Tatum not a superstar? Jaylen Brown not a superstar? Is Luka not a superstar?
That's a good one.
Is Allen Iverson not considered a superstar? And get this, in his playing days, was Gilbert Arenas not a superstar?
No.
Come on, Gil.
I mean, Taylor's like,
I don't think he was a superstar.
yes, he was. I played
superstar?
I played in that era. It was no player better than Gilbert Arenas in 2006, 2007, 2008. When he was hibachi shooting from half court, there was no player better than Gilbert Arenas in the Eastern Conference.
oh, in the Eastern Conference.
Might not even the West. I'm just hedging my bets and saying
hold on.
East.
I kind of understand what he's saying, a superstar. Superstar is, Jaylen Brown is very good, but is he a superstar?
Like a household
gonna,
name?
Yeah, he's going to sell shoes. He's going to be that guy on commercials.
Did Gilbert Arenas have his own shoes?
Agent Zero?
Absolutely. That's what he was superstar status. So when you add the rings to, okay, take Gilbert out of it. Allen Iverson.
He's a superstar.
Yeah, drops Mike.
I don't
Allen
think-
Iverson
I
is a
think-
bona fide superstar.
Have you seen his statue? That says
The
everything.
championship is just
see
is
what you
not
did there.
the reason why. There's his Heisman.
This little cute little thing they had going.
I get it though. It's Jaylen Brunson. When I think of I think like Westbrook's more of a superstar than Jalen Brunson.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
we're
mean,
talking,
he's not better.
Listen, we're talking about 2 months into him being Jalen Brunson.
It's also just his personality. Kawhi Leonard never will be
No,
a
but we're-
superstar because he
but-
doesn't want to be. He doesn't
he is
care.
technically-
But we're looking at we're looking at the end of guys' careers versus Jalen Brunson being almost in the prime of his.
Okay.
2 different time spans in their careers to even be having this conversation. But like, yes, he's building. Are we gonna say Gilbert Arenas was a superstar in Golden State when he played there? Like, absolutely not. He had to go to Washington to get his feet going. And that took some time. We're looking at Jalen Brunson in the same scenario. Of course, this guy's a bona fide superstar.
My point is,
but it's also time for him to grow into that as well.
My point is, I don't think he wants to be a superstar. He's not going to go do the.
Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, like
you go to the Mecca.
I'm just saying.
Of course you want to be a superstar.
Anthony Edwards.
He did have ads this time.
Anthony Edwards is like a superstar personality and the charisma and the aura about him. Jalen Brunson's just quiet. Does his podcast
Gil is
with
making
college
this
homie,
about.
like-
But Gil is making this about basketball. He's saying he needs a ring to be considered a superstar, not personality.
That's where he's wrong.
That
The
can't
ring
be
has
it.
That's what I'm
nothing to do with
saying.
it.
He's making
Because
this
literally
is a basketball
Tatum,
argument.
There's
Your
10
guy.
superstars, right? Joel Embiid is a superstar. He doesn't have a championship. Who cares?
Yeah. this is a
Or do we
basketball
start
argument.
thinking maybe they aren't superstars?
No.
Things
I
to
just think.
about.
I think when I think superstar, I think
Gil,
more
this is a bad
personality.
take.
I think
That's
more
a bad take, bad
personality.
take.
It's more personality.
I'm not buying it, by the way.
It's a bad take.
Oh, that long ass roundabout way. You answer the question. Are
I'm
you
not
buying
buying
it
it, by the way.
Lou, I can't believe you're up again because you get a Paul Pierce one. It's like
right, let's
Gilbert
do it.
Arenas,
Are we just
Paul
skipping
Pierce.
over mine?
Yeah, we're not talking to you.
All right, I'm gonna take a break.
He said that the Luka comparisons to Larry Bird need to stop because Bird is top 10 player of all time. So
That's just Boston Celtics pride right there. Paul, you wrong too. Luka Doncic is absolutely in a class with Larry Bird. Larry Bird had better, had people around him. You know, he had champions, Kevin McHale's, the Dennis Johnsons, Robert Parrish's. I can go on and on about the supporting cast that Larry Bird had that assisted him in being who he was to get championships, to create his legacy. Like we said, we're talking about a guy we can look at the legacy that he built, and we're looking at a guy that's still building his legacy. When it's all said and done, if Luka has 5-6 rings, then who do we compare him to? So I'm not buying it either.
I'm scared.
Hot take. Luka's already better than Larry Bird was.
I knew you was gonna do
He's-
that, but I wanted you to
I
do
knew
it.
so.
opposed to me.
He doesn't
Yeah,
have
go
the
ahead.
resume. He doesn't have the championship.
Well, he's
but
not
as
a superstar,
basketball
though.
player. Yeah, he's not a superstar.
Yeah.
As a basketball player, Luka Doncic can do everything Larry Bird did and
Hot
more.
take. And there it is.
There's
your viral moment for
if you did-
Thursday.
I understand the old guys are going to
And
disagree.
here I am sitting next to him again.
Oh, it's a different game. It's too physical. Luka could never play back then. It's like he doesn't have to. He plays now, and he's better than he was back. He's just better.
Wow.
You know,
Clip that.
You don't agree?
No, it's just gonna.
I know you don't.
Fight.
I know you agree, and you don't want to say it. Lou agrees too.
No, I don't think he does. I'm looking at Lou's
retweet.
face. Yep. No. God, here we go. I can't
You
wait
want
for
to
today.
throw a question my way, or do I?
Yeah, fine. You ready?
he don't need
Actually, this is a good one. Speculate.
I'm jumping in all his anyways.
You get Bronny James.
Okay.
So speculation is that the floor for Bronny James will be the Lakers pick at 55. The floor.
I was actually talking. If I'm Dallas, if I'm another good team, and I can sneak in at 53 or 54, or if I can get a pick
what I'm
before
saying.
that.
Listen, let me
Why
tell you
not?
something.
The kid clearly has the athleticism. He has the genes. He has the capability. And if that means
But
I
you
can,
can't do it for. You think LeBron's?
Yeah, that's what I would do. That's why I would do it. That's why I would do it. It's not fair to Bronny. I get it. But if I know I have a chance, a glimmer of hope to get LeBron James on my roster next
Listen,
year.
You think he'd
we
go to
have
Dallas?
to stop this.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's something that LeBron James said. We have not once heard Bronny James say one time, I want to play with my dad.
No, actually, I don't even think
he wants to
I'll-
be his own person. He wants to be his own man. He wants to earn his right to be a reputable NBA player. He
I
doesn't
get
want
all
to be
that,
on
but
a
if I'm
buddy
a
pass.
team and I have the 54th pick, I'm sliding in and I'm trying to get both. For
You're
sure.
not getting both.
Yeah, but you have to be a team that's a destination that's even kind of remote. Like there are some
Dallas.
teams don't even. Dallas, maybe.
Miami.
I could. Yeah.
New York. Can you imagine if the Knicks
No,
and they all went?
absolutely not.
That would
Like
be-
I've been saying, Bronny James
kibosh.
is going to get drafted. I don't know if it'll be at 55, might be earlier, but is this a question
It's going
of
to be
where?
way earlier.
It's just a question of where. That's going to
It'll
do
be
it for
way
us
earlier.
today. Enjoy the game
we're already
tonight.
done?
Marcus Morris tomorrow.
Oh, Team Foe.
Yeah.
Love me
That's
some mug.
family right there.
Love me some mug.